Senora Sally hear you say such a thing," Juan said. "I think she would not want to hear that you think a side of beef could be prettier than she is." Smoke laughed and pointed a finger at Juan. "You're right, Juan," he said. "And don't either of you dare tell her I said that, because if you do, I will be in hot water for sure." The two men laughed appreciatively, then turned their attention back to the task at hand. The aroma of the cooking meat filled the grounds between the group of small houses where Juan, Carlos, and the other permanent hands lived, and the house where Smoke and Sally Jensen, owners of Sugarloaf Ranch, lived. The American cowboys called the ranch house the Big House. The Mexicans called it Casa Grande. The cowboys, separate from the permanent hands, lived in the bunkhouse. The bunkhouse, which was between the big house and the barn, was a long, low building that had 10 bunks, 5 on each side of the building, as well as private rooms at each end of the bunkhouse. The private rooms provided quarters for Pearlie and Cal, the only 2 cowboys who were permanent employees. The rest of the cowboys who rode for Sugarloaf were, as most cowboys, men who worked the ranches as temporary hands, hired in the spring for the roundup and branding, then let go during the winter months. This was typical of all the ranches, and the cowboys not only accepted it, but many of them had chosen this particular line of work for the very reason that it was seasonal and temporary. The time of employment for the extra hands was now coming to an end, and as they did every year, Smoke and his wife Sally were hosting a barbecue and party for the cowboys. Juan and Carlos had started cooking the beef the evening before, taking turns watching it through the night. Their long efforts had been rewarded, and now the meat was nearly done. In the meantime, many of the Mexican women had prepared their own dishes to bring to the meal, and Sally had baked pies. Some of the Mexicans were pretty good musicians, and they had been providing music off and on during the day, but the cowboys were providing their own entertainment by way of bronco riding, steer wrestling, and target shooting. One of the American cowboys, Lucas Kino, was pretty good with a pistol, and in head-to-head shooting with the others, he had bested them all. Kino was a singularly unattractive man, with an oversized, hawk-like nose, thin lips, bad teeth, and a weak chin. "Ha!" Kino said. "There ain't a cowboy on this ranch can beat me," he bragged. "Hell, there ain't a cowboy in the whole county can beat me, and none in the state either, I'm betting." Cal laughed. "Kino, you might want to think about that some. No matter how good you are, there's always someone who is better." "Yeah? Well, if there is somebody better, I'd like to know who it could be," Kino said. "I've done beat everybody on Sugarloaf, and that's a fact." "You haven't beat everybody," Cal said. "I've seen you shoot, and I've seen Pearlie shoot, and I think Pearlie is better." "Do you now?" Kino asked. He laughed. "Is that right, Pearlie? Are you better'n me?" "I don't know," Pearlie said. "Tell you what, I just got paid out my $30. Why don't me and you bet that $30 on which one of us is the best? I could use an extra 30. "I don't want to bet you," Pearlie said. "Ha! I reckon you don't. What you mean is you don't want to lose the money." "No, I don't want to lose the money," Pearlie said. "Don't know why you'd be so worried about losing $30, Kino said. "Hell, being as you and Cal are Jensen's pets, you don't get fired like the rest of us. You'll get yourself another 30 come next month." "We ain't being fired, Kino," one of the other cowboys said. "We knowed coming in that this was a temporary job. All roundups are temporary jobs. Hell, that's what cowboying is all about." "Yeah, so you say. But from the way I'm looking at it, it is the same as being fired," Kino said. Then, turning his attention back to Pearlie, he continued his pitch.